Hello?
Hello, hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good. So the way I like to start this interview off is I'll give you a quick intro on myself, and then you can give me a quick intro on you.
Cool.
Cool. So I currently work at Uber. I've been there for about the last 7 months. I work there on the Maps team, helping build out the new Maps data set. And prior to that, I worked at Yahoo and a company called Brightroll, which did online video advertising. So yeah, I worked on I've done mostly back end work. I started doing a bit more front end work here and there, but primarily focused on back end work.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a quick rundown on me. Could you give me a quick intro on yourself?
Yeah, I graduated a few years back as an electrical engineer from college.
Okay.
But I found the challenges of electrical engineering not the challenge I was looking for. It was more like hardware. Things took a bit longer than I would like to see results. So I looked to the software side, which was a lot more fun during my time in electrical engineering. So I decided to um, take a software called Hackran in
Okay.
San Francisco.
Cool.
So, and I recently graduated from there, so like, now I'm a developer looking for um, developer positions.
Cool. Your audio is kind of like jittery. Do you mind like plugging in your mic again or like just reconnecting?
Yeah, sorry.
Sure, no worries.
You mean not talking loud enough?
No, it was like the quality was like kind of jittery. I think maybe
Uh,
now it might be fixed.
is it okay now?
Yeah, now I think it's good.
Perfect.
Uh, sure. Okay, so one second. Let me just paste in this question and we can get started. Sorry, one sec. Okay, cool. So the general idea of this question is that you are a game developer, sorry, and
Okay.
your goal is to simulate opening up a pack, which is five random cards, and then printing it out in a sensible result, so you and I can just see them. So the way the game is structured is that there's four different types of cards: common, rare, epic, and legendary.
Got it.
And so for common, for example, we have a 74% chance you get a common card. And then there's 94 different unique cards. So you can think of it as equally likely that you get any of the 94. So the
Got it.
94, like 94, 81, 37, 33, those are not related to the percent chance to obtain. So like 94 divided by the sum of all the numbers in that first column would not give you 74%.
Yeah.
They're independent. Yep. So
Gotcha.
so yeah, your goal is to basically just create a a method like open pack or something, and every time we call that, we just get five random cards in some visible way.
Awesome. Okay. Uh, so do you mind if I do this in JavaScript?
Sure.
Awesome. Okay. So let's comment this out. So I'm not sure if I'll need that. So let's just start off with function openPack. Assume it takes no parameters.
Yeah, no parameters.
All right. So it's going to return. Let's see. It's going to return five cards. So first thing that I need to do, just as an approach, would be to let's see, roll for rarity. That's one thing I need to do, and then roll for card within that rarity, and then add card to pack. That'll be the overhead, the main three steps that I need to take.
Yep.
So what I can do, I can just roll, basically rolling a dice from like 1 to 100 or 0 to 99.
Yep.
And then assign a range for each one. So
Yep.
common would be like 1 to 74.
Sure. Yep.
If that's okay.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Let's see. How does do I do? Was it math.rand? So since I'm going to do that, let's assign this to a variable for dice. That's rarity. It'd be easier. Math.random times, let's see, because it times 100, since I want to do 0 to 100, and then I'm going to math. Yep. That'll bring it to 1 to 100.
Yep.
So basically, let's see, if I wanted to like put this into a sub-function, a helper function, I can just do check rarity. Just pass in a number or something. And if number is 1, then it's going to be return legendary. Else if, since this is everything else. Else if number is greater than 1, and if I do 2 to 5, so number is less than 6, then that can be epic. Return epic. If number is greater than 5 and 25, and number is less than 26, that'd be 20. So that's 27. Let's see. What is it? Simple math. 21%, 5. It'd be to 26.
Yep.
So 27. Less than 27. Return rare. And then let's see if, or at least else it'll just return. Then I can just have this have a return statement here. I don't think this is necessary in JavaScript actually. So this always returns something anyway. So now I can return rarity. I can just do check rarity here. And then let's see, I'm going to need a pack. Let's make it an object, or would you like it as an object or an array to look at it, since it's just reasonable. It just says a simple result. So like if I made it an object, I can just make key 1 like the card, key 2 the card. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Oh, hey, no, I can't hear you.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, 1 second. Hey, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that was
Can you,
weird. I reloaded and then it didn't load the interview for a little bit and okay.
yeah. Can can you still see my code?
Yep. Yeah, it's still. Yep. Yeah, I
Awesome.
see it.
Awesome. I think my internet was like acting up maybe a
Okay.
bit. It's a bit wonky here, so if I disconnect, I apologize.
No worries.
Um, so basically, I just set up the logic for rarity
Cool.
just to see like which one I'm rolling. So
Okay.
now I would basically roll. I basically roll 1 through 74. 74. For commons, roll 1 through, what's it rare? 25? 21. And then basically roll 1 through 4. And then just return. Wait, no, that's not right. How many cards are in here? 94.
94. Yeah.
I want to roll the number of cards, not the probability again.
Yeah.
So 81, 37, and 33. Oops. And then that would just pull from the cards. What is the format in which I have the cards?
Like, what you mean? How do you want to return it, basically?
No, I mean like if I were to pull from some, like I assume I'm pulling the cards from something
Yeah.
in essence, right? So like
Correct.
would that just be like a global object or something?
Um. Yeah. Well, it's you're generating the cards basically. So it's not really like you're pulling them. You're just generating like random cards based on like this is how the composite makeup will be.
I see. So
So
if so this is like if someone were to use this to find the cards later.
yeah. Yep.
I see. Okay. Um then I see. Got it. Then that makes making the pack an object a lot more sensible.
Yep.
Basically, I can just do. I think I can just do bar. Let's declare it once. Bar card equals. No, let's just give it a default value. Card equals math.co math.random times 94.
Cool. Yep.
And then let's just repeat that for. Now, I'm not sure if I can make this dry code because of the way I'm doing this. It just makes sense to do it this way.
Sure.
And 33. So that'll give me the card for each one.
Yep.
So let's make it, at this point, I can just, if I were to just make this kind of like an API return, it would just be pack at pack.common at pack.common. No, that's not right. Let's see. Pack. Because if I use an object and I want to, if I generate the same two cards, then let's see. So right now I'm only generating one card. So I'm going to need to stick this in a for loop later. Let's just do, I don't really need to do, I can just do that now. For var I equals 0, 0. I is less than, wants to generate 5. Generate 5. Then I plus. Yes, it does. Okay. So now let's move this in here as well. Now I could just generate the rarity 5 times for 5 holes. And then, so now I'm trying to decide on how I want the pack to look. I think I should just do it as like pack I for the key. Pack at I equals, now I can make it another object or just an array of common and card number. But I think this depends. Actually, no. With this, it doesn't depend on anything. It's just, so if I had, if I knew what the structure of the data, like how the cards were stored, so like if they were not separated by rarity inside the storage, but instead just like 1 through like 94 plus 81 plus 37 plus 33, instead of like legendary has like 1 to 33, like cards would be like from X number to X number. That would change my thought process for this a little bit.
So I guess I'm a little bit confused as so like shouldn't you just like append it basically to like a pack? You just have an empty pack array, and then as you iterate through 5 times, you basically return the pack as just like an array of length 5.
If it was an array, so what I'm trying to figure out is if I were to put it just in the pack, right? If it was, for instance, an array.
Yeah. Yep.
And I rolled 1 through 94 for a common.
Okay.
But I rolled 1 through 81 for a rare.
Sure.
How would I know if I rolled 2 5s for both, which one returns common or rare? That's what I'm trying to distinguish right now.
5s.
Because in these two instances, I'm rolling from 1 to 94 and 1 to 81. So if on the first instance I roll 5 for a common, and then I roll a rare that's also a 5, but I just push 5 into my pack.
Oh, I see. So you can kind of think of it like this. So you can think of your cards as like, you can say common 1. Like the way you'll separate them is like this. So like you'll have the type of card and then the number, the number after it, so to speak.
Got it.
Yeah. So then that way you don't have to worry about then 5 won't look the exact same basically.
Oh, okay, cool. Then that makes things a lot easier, actually. Because I think I can just do, I can just do this. Let's see. I can just do pack.push rarity plus card, and then return pack. Just make it an array.
Yep.
So that should work.
Cool. Yeah. So let's give it. We can give it a run through.
Console.log. Open pack.
Oh.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
It's just.
It's just.
Yeah.
You have a fan blowing in your
Sorry.
thing.
Yeah. No worries.
Extra mismatch parentheses. Little bugs. And it's rolling all commons right now. If I rolled it multiple times, would it still roll multiple commons?
So because your
94.
your math.ceil method should enclose the 100, because math.random, the ceiling will always be 1, I am guessing.
Yeah.
So you need to just you need to change it so it's math.ceil of math.random times 100 on line 50.
On line 50. Oh, this, right?
Yes, I think you need one more parentheses at the end now.
Math.random. Yes, I do.
And then the same thing with the other other on line 54, 57.
Oh, just the other checks. Got it.
Yep. Yeah.
So I just removed the wrong one.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. I understand what you were trying to say. I was trying to think about it. Gotcha. Cool.
So let's
All
see.
right.
Yeah, that looks about right. Cool. Okay. Cool. So that was the first part of the question, and the second part is I'm just gonna write it up on line 23, and then we can discuss it. Basically, to steal the Pokemon terminology, it's to catch them all, where we will keep calling your open pack method and return the number of packs open until you have 2 of every type of card. So what I mean until you have at least 2 of every type of card. So what I mean by that is like you should have, 2 common 1s, 2 common 2s, all the way, all like throughout the entire thing. So every single type of card, like type and number, basically. And then so it'll basically be a while loop, and you want to return, the number of packs that you had to open to get there.
Got it. Okay. So assume this is like a new function. Let's go back down to 78. Let's do function catch all. And then, so let's make a while loop. Indentation is weird. So it's going to be open pack, or return, not return. Well, I'm going to open the pack repetitive. So I want to return a count, or count to see how many times I open pack, correct? I'm reading?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Cool. So I'm going to be returning a count, and then I'm going to open a pack, and then so the pack right now returns an array, and I want to for something like this, I think I should use a hash collected. Name it collected. And then this can keep track of like common one, like count of common one, and then like common two can keep track of common two.
Yep.
And then I'm going to need a size to keep track of collected, to see like how many cards I've collected. Let's just have a max of 94 plus 81 plus 37 plus 33. So this is like the max number of cards, which will be,
yes,
which I'll check size against.
Okay.
Cool. So this will basically be while size is less than max.
Cool. Yep. Makes sense.
Okay, so now I var pack equals open pack. This is going to return an array. Since I return it in array, iterate through pack. Just for right now, in case I accidentally run this, let's just make it so I don't go into an infinite loop before I'm done. Let's see, iterate through the pack, add card to collected, if doesn't, I think if card exists, increment count, if card doesn't exist, add card. So I'd be adding to the collected, and then I need to check if the card has two or not as well. So this here handles basically just adding the cards to what I've collected so far. And then I also need to find which cards. So I can just make another hash, but I don't think that's efficient in terms of space usage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's why I have, let's see. So count packs. Let's just make another counter.
Sure.
Packs. And then var, let's see, count twos, I guess. And then if card doesn't exist, if card exists, increment the count. If count, actually, even if I do count twos, if I roll the same card again, it's just going to increment that count twos multiple times.
Yeah.
So that's not going to work. How do I keep track of which cards are at 2 without making even more space?
So the question you're trying to figure out right now is like, once you get more than 2 of them, you don't want to keep incrementing size, right?
Yeah. Well,
yes.
Size keeps track of just like the collected size. I want to keep track of like how many 2s. So like, if I rolled like 3 commons, I don't want to roll I don't want to increment count twos on the third comment.
Oh, I see what you're
Oh,
saying. So why not check what in your loop you say if card exists, right? So if it
Yeah.
exists, the count will be at this point we know the count has to be one, right, for it to exist.
Yeah.
So then when you add another one, that means you have two. So then you can just increment size only when increment. So basically you just check if the increment count, if the card
I
exists
see.
and the count is one, then you increment, and then that's the only time, right? You just have to check that it's also equal to one.
Got it.
So I think then that way you don't have to have another counter. You could just have size.
I see. So let's see. If card, I want to iterate through pack. So let's just do pack dot for each. Oops, that's not right. There we go. For each card, if collected, if card isn't collected, or not in collected, then collected at card equals 0, and then here I can just do collected at card plus plus, and then I think you were saying if like collected at card equals 2,
Yeah.
then size plus plus. Indentations off. There we go.
Cool.
So now,
Yep.
yeah, cool. So I need to take this out here.
Yep.
And I think that actually should be good. Wait, no. Forgot one thing. Basically, open pack, count pack plus plus.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
should be it.
Cool. So yeah, let's we can give it a run through.
Awesome.
I think
a
you
lot
just
of
have to
cards.
call. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I actually have to call it too. Catch all console log.
Cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it'll obviously vary. This is like about the numbers that I've seen. So you're doing it like an optimal way. And it's running quickly. So yeah, sometimes it's like 2,400, sometimes 4,000. But cool, awesome. Yeah, so that's pretty much the whole question. I like to leave some time. If you have any questions for me, feel free to ask about the interview, about like interviewing in general, whatever. If not, also that's also completely fine.
Cool. So you said you're at Uber, right?
Correct.
What is it that you do there again?
So I work on the maps team there. So I help out. Currently, I'm helping build out like the places data set. So when you search in Uber, when you're like searching for a destination, like the actual place being mapped to an address and stuff like that is kind of the stuff I work on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
How do you like it at Uber?
So yeah, I started about 7 months ago, which has been, as you can probably, if you've read in the news, an interesting time to say the least, I guess.
Yeah.
But the maps team is interesting. It's one of the newer orgs. It just started, about 2.5 years ago. So it feels very different than the rest of Uber, and like all the kind of bad press and stuff that has come out about a lot of Uber. I have not personally witnessed it, not on my team or like any of the teams that are closely working with us. So that
Mm.
might mean I have a different experience, but from that point of view, like I really I enjoy the work. You know, our team is now about 40% women, so we're like, you know, we have diverse like perspectives and stuff, and
Awesome.
like everyone's really engaged to come into work. Everyone's super nice, friendly. There's no like Uber gets a rap of like, you know, there's a lot of assholes there, and I honestly I thought the same thing before I joined, and I couldn't have been more wrong. Like people are way nicer at Uber than they are at my last few companies. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, I would say take everything you kind of hear with a grain of salt, and I like yeah, from a work perspective and like interesting work and holding a lot of responsibility versus like a Facebook or Google where um you may not have to like work as hard and it may be a little bit different work environment, but I don't think you get to like build out so much. You won't have so much responsibility basically, which I think is pretty awesome personally.
Cool.
So yeah.
Uh, how long have you guys been doing like interviewing.io? Because I know a friend who actually got a job through interviewing.io at
Yeah.
Uber. So
Yeah, I actually did too. I did
oh,
too.
nice.
So I want to say we've been doing it for probably over a year now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
Because
it's a good way.
you started around. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I was just gonna say it's a pretty good way of getting into the interview process.
Yeah, I've been having like trouble just from shooting out resumes and stuff. So
Yeah.
like having a platform like this is very helpful.
Oh yeah, for sure. I couldn't agree more.
Hmm. So I heard the interview process at Uber is actually like kind of rigorous. Can
Yeah.
you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. So your first interview, like your phone screen, this is not like a this is more of like a easier like a watered down version of an on-site interview, like this question.
I
So
see.
the way it works is like our phone screen is generally something algorithmic. Like mine was like build a calculator or like expression evaluator or something like that.
Mm.
So not super algorithmically, like not like edit distance or like graph theory or something. And then your on-site is like one question like this, but more a little bit more involved. Like I think mine was uh, design Excel, like where you can type in formulas and stuff. You also
Oh,
have like
cool.
a full hour, so it's not 40 minutes or whatever. So you definitely have more time. And then um, there's there's one other algorithm interview, design two design interviews, and then one like hiring manager interview.
I see.
Yeah. So I would say the process is pretty similar to Facebook or Google. It's a little bit less algorithmically than I would say Facebook or Google. There's like maybe one or two less algorithm questions and maybe more design emphasis, but in general, I would say pretty comparable.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I think that's all I have for like
Cool.
Uber.
Sure.
Do you? How was like your journey as like a software engineer? Because since I'm kind of new to it,
Yeah.
like I'm new to the field, so I would like to hear like some anecdotes from someone in the field.
Yeah. So I actually used to be in finance. I used to work at a hedge fund in New York, and I was a mathematics and economics major, actually applied math and econ. So I
Cool.
actually took Dev Bootcamp, um,
Nice.
the first class actually of Dev Bootcamp. So I was kind of
Oh,
like
nice.
very early on in the bootcamp stuff, and it's funny how much it's changed. But so I have kind of similar experience to yours. And back then I think for me it was pretty much like I got a job. It helped a lot for me because I had a math degree.
Yeah.
Because like when most people see boot camp stuff, they immediately think they just like have their inherent biases. So it helped me a lot actually to have that because it gave me a lot of interest at places. Um,
Yeah.
And then from there, yeah, it was just like work experience, I guess, just adding up, getting. And then most of the jobs I've kind of worked at have been like well known, like strong engineering companies.
Yeah.
So I think that also helped. Like, unfortunately, it's kind of another. It's not to say that like companies that aren't well known for engineering aren't good. They don't have good engineers. It's just kind of like how biases work. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to pass the interview regardless. But just getting your foot in the door and stuff, it's a bit easier for how people regard you. Um,
Yeah, prestige makes a pretty big impression.
I've interviewed plenty of Stanford grads that have not been very good, and I've interviewed people from colleges who are music majors. Like, it doesn't matter in the end what you studied. So that's
Yeah,
kind of,
I
yeah, those,
I really.
yep,
Sorry, go ahead.
sorry. No, I was just gonna say that's kind of been my experience.
Yeah, that's like kind of something I really like about like the software industry because
Yeah,
people can come from anywhere as long as they've like done the work. They can just do it. They can just hop in. And like
yeah,
if they have experience with the software or the
yep,
tech, they can just hop in. It doesn't matter where they come from, which is really cool.
yep, yeah, definitely. I agree.
No, it's good to hear. Instills a
Cool.
lot more confidence in me.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, definitely. I think that's a good thing to hear. I had the same, I'm sure I had the same kind of doubts that you had early on. Um, but yeah, I think as long as you practice and you get better, then so you'll find something that works out.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your
Cool.
time.
Yeah, great. No problem. Have a good rest of your day.
You too, man.
Bye.